In the winter months, many of us get sick, right? What if I told you the same flu we all experienced is extremely similar to swine flu, which in 2009 resulted in the deaths of nearly 5,000 US citizens. The swine industry also took a massive hit after being forced to kill off roughly 5 million hogs. What if I also told you that we have the technology to prevent an outbreak like that from ever happening again, but we're not using it? If 5 million hogs wasn't enough, just 5 years ago, between December of 2014 and June of 2015, roughly 50 million commercial chickens and turkeys died or had to be killed from avian influenza in the US. Yet another event that doesn't have to be a cause for concern. So stepping back, like I said, we have this technology, but we're not using it. How come? The main reason is due to society's concerns around this thought to be sci-fi technology, CRISPR. In order to grow and maintain the sustainability of our livestock industry, we need to break away the ignorance surrounding CRISPR so we can reap the rewards in regards to sustainability, breed improvement, and animal welfare. So how do we make that happen, right? What's the number one reason people fear something or say it's harmful? They don't understand it. So what is CRISPR and how does it work? Well, most people know is that CRISPR is a tool we can use to go in and edit a gene. Well, that's true. We need to dive a little deeper dissecting the acronym. CRISPR stands for Clustered Regularly Interspaced Short Palindromic Repeats. And it's a natural process that happens when DNA damages itself. And we are essentially hijacking that process to edit a gene in a natural way. CRISPR consists of two main components: a Cas9 enzyme, which is used to cut up or break up DNA, and a guide RNA. RNA is derived from spacer sequences, which are regions of non-coding DNA, and it's used to recognize the gene being targeted. Now, when the modified RNA finds the gene being targeted, the Cas9 goes in, acting as scissors, and cuts it, effectively removing it. Cas9 is an enzyme that's naturally produced during this process. By using modified versions of RNA, you can go in and input whatever genetic information you want, or simply allow the strand to heal back together without the intended genome. So hopefully now you guys know a little bit more about the process. It's important to note that CRISPR is not a new category in biotechnology. And what I mean by this is gene editing has been taking place in other forms for hundreds of years. It also isn't the first technology that allows us to do this. That being said, what really sets CRISPR apart is, number one, how precise it is. Off-target mutations are a massive concern, and CRISPR mitigates that. Secondly, that guide RNA, which makes this process so precise, is incredibly easy to make and program with whatever genetic information you want. So the takeaways are, it's easy and it's precise. Now, that was a lot of information. So why is it important? What can we really do with this? CRISPR has been making strides, and with that, I made some bold claims in the beginning. I talked about the rewards CRISPR could bring in regards to sustainability, and I threw out some scary animal statistics. The fact that millions of animals die due to a problem we can prevent is scary, and it hurts us. With CRISPR, we have the technology to go in, find the gene receptive to a bacteria or a virus, and remove it. Or moving into other options where we're able to increase milk production in cattle. Or editing embryos so they're born with naturally higher muscling rates, and therefore they produce more meat. Or perhaps in the future, we'll even have the ability to go and edit female embryos so when they reach adulthood, they're able to produce and maintain more offspring than once thought. The last thing I mentioned was animal welfare. There's roughly 9 million dairy cows in the United States, almost all of which have to go through a painful dehorning process in order to reduce risk of injury. One of the big things CRISPR is being used for right now in the livestock industry is to minimize that process. Again, it's the simple steps of going in, finding the gene that dictates horn growth and removing it. Then the animal never has to go through that. So with that, it is clear to see that CRISPR has much potential for the livestock industry. But still I find people asking, why is it important? Why does it matter to me? Well, it matters for a few reasons. Number one, you have the ability to go in and minimize painful management procedures done on cattle. Number two, everyone eats. And the United States is going to need to massively increase production in order to feed growing populations. CRISPR can help aid in that process. With all that, it is clear to see that CRISPR, with that, it's clear to see that CRISPR I'm going to cry. Furthermore, it is imperative that CRISPR becomes mainstream. And a big thing stopping that is public perception. It is so important that we continue to understand this as it becomes more widely used and depended on. CRISPR is not slowing down, but only speeding up. So what I ask of you is to use this information, continue to educate yourselves and educate others. The more people we can inform about CRISPR, the better. CRISPR is inevitable, and instead of fearing it or debunking it without sound science, we need to embrace it. Thank you.